Hey everybody, and welcome to another day of 30 days with 30 days of Galactics. This here is a fly being. When I say fly being, I mean literally a fly who is 5, 6 foot tall, standing upright and working a computer screen of some kind. Now, I met them on a ship. I was working with some friends and some teachers, and they had me go up to, and when I say friends, I mean like galactics, non-human beings. And they had me go up to this space where there's a pad, and they taught me, okay, here's a ship, here's the pad. And when I say pad, I mean like Star Trek, where they teleport in. In Star Trek, there's a teleportation pad type of thing that they all teleport into. So there's kind of a similarity there with how some things work on these ships, where this ship was a massive ship. It's has a variety of beings on it from all walks of life, all forms of benevolence and stuff. It's kind of a neutral zone. You could call it Switzerland if you want. Like, everybody's allowed there as long as you don't create problems. But at the same time, those who are not there, so there's a docking port where there's all kinds of ships that dock, and then there are ways to teleport in or astral travel in. And if you're somebody that's not been like technically approved, is in learning, is in need of teaching, and that you teleport into these, or you astral travel, I should say, you astral travel into these fixed points. And it's not just with ships, it's other places too. So like when I work with Sarai in Africa, when I learned how to astral travel to her, I needed a fixed point. So they taught me through going into another dimension, and I met her, and then working with her, she pulled me to her energy and then showed me a tree and was like, this will be your fixed point. And they taught me how to use the tree as my point of travel, so that I knew it's kind of like a coordinate map. Essentially, you need to know where you're going and where to like pop in to be able to get there. And with the ship, it's very much a monitoring type of situation, in that they know who's there because they don't want you to see things you're not ready for. And it's about making sure that like energetically you can handle what you're experiencing. There are times I've been on that ship where my concierge, my teacher, my watcher, guide, whatever you want to call her, her name was Carrie, spelled Carrie, but Carrie. And Carrie was an Arcturian Zeta hybrid type of being. And she's 5 to 6 feet tall, somewhere in there. And she stood at a monitor, which was far more advanced than anything we have. Holographic is the way I would describe it. And you'd like hop in, and there'd be beings, and then you'd go up to your person, and if somebody wasn't in front of them, you just go up to them and start talking, and they go, okay, we're gonna do this, we have you on for this today, just go sit over there, wait for me, type of thing, and I'll teach you some things. So Carrie was my person. Carrie was very loving, very happy, she loved humans, and always loved to dance. I would go up there, and every single time I would walk up, and she'd be like, what music have you been listening to? What do you mean? She's like, what music have you been listening to? And I would telepathically send her the music I had been listening to, and we would start dancing. Like, I'm in astral energy, and she's in her physical energy, and just dancing and having a good time. And then beside her, on one side, there was this beautiful white energy, who I believe ended up actually visiting the apartment. I woke up one time and that similar energy was there. I don't know what to describe them as. Just very pure white being. They had physical form, but their physical form was white, and very thin, very big, wide head, and but like imagine like a, how do I describe this? I don't really have the words to describe some of these heads, like thin head but wide and angled back. So on that, they were on the left side of me, and then when I go up on the right side, there was usually this person. This person was a fly. Now, the fly was less than welcoming. They were working a station, and their response to every time I would be up there, their response to us dancing would just be like, I just don't understand humans. I don't understand you, Carrie. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you dancing? They didn't understand that type of stuff. They had no capacity for that type of joy and fun. They just were emotionless in a sense and doing their thing. But they were there. They were a 5 to 6 foot tall, big eyes. Like, if you imagine a fly, and one of the things is, if you have seen the old, I guess there's an original, not the original Fly movie, but the one with Jeff Goldblum, The Fly in the 80s. If you've seen that, where he turns into a fly and he's like walking around, it looks like a full-blown fly. That's kind of what this thing looked like, just standing upright, walking around, had wings, but also had hands and was working a computer type thing of some sort. And so insectoids are real. They're out there. Fly people are real. I've heard stories. I had heard stories at that point. I've never run into them very much. Just this one case, really, that I know of specifically a fly being. But what I found interesting is the lack of empathy is the word that just keeps coming to mind. The lack of ability to feel and understand what we were doing, and the moments of joy and the moments of laughter, and that there was just kind of a nothingness there. And it doesn't mean they were malicious at all. A lot of people confuse that. They meet these beings and they feel the lack of empathy and the lack of a lack of emotion as like maliciousness. It's not maliciousness. It's just it means they don't have the ability to comprehend some of the things that we do. And they can still be benevolent. They can be neutral. They can be malicious. This one was benevolent, and helping them on the ship, helping them do whatever it needed to be. It was another guide of some kind, but probably a guide to beings that were more alike to it, that could resonate with that type of energy. Whereas Carrie was a fun-loving, super like wanted to work with humans type of energy, and she's the one that took me around the ships and showed me different things and saw, active stargates that were technological in nature, and met different beings, and also vibrationally made sure, like, there were a couple points in time where she's like, okay, nope, come with me, you have to come with me. And the one time she didn't, I was sitting by a giant, and vibrationally, like, I started, even my physical body here started to like have issues, and she's like, you can't be by him. And it wasn't a matter of maliciousness, it was simply the vibration I wasn't ready for. And so until I was ready for that vibration, I could not be near them, and that was part of her responsibility, was making sure that I was able to handle these beings. And the fly was one I was able to handle upon reading. So if you see beings like that, if you see fly beings, if you see insectoids or of any kind, they're all real. And just remember that the feeling that they lack empathy, or the feeling that they lack the ability to understand, doesn't make them malicious. It's just they're a different type of consciousness. They're a different type of evolution, of creation, of experience, is somebody saying. They're a different type of experience for a soul to to have, and they chose that experience. So let me know if you have any questions. Grateful for each and every one of you, and I love you all.